Move over, microwaves. Take a hike, Viking stoves. In this appliance showroom, there's not a gas, electric, convection, or induction burner in sight.
Paleo-stovologist. That's what we call us.
This octogenarian oven archaeologist is Emory Pineo, owner of the Antique Stove Hospital on his 10-acre homestead in Little Compton.
We're looking at the older the better.
Emory is a self-taught stove expert.
I learned by taking hundreds of them apart and fixing them. The very first one I bought, it was a bar stove made in Providence.
All it took was one.
Then it was 3. Now we're up to several hundred, maybe 300 to 400 here at the moment.
And Emory estimates in his 50-year career, he's repaired, restored, rebuilt, and collected 10,000 of these heavy metal heaters.
Some are here as inventory, and some are here forever. You know, some of them are just part of the family.
Emory says warm memories of his mother sending him as a little boy to buy eggs from a neighbor inspired his passion for the past.
I had to walk down the street, across the river, to the widow Lawrence. She would have her wood-burning kitchen range going, and she would cook biscuits or muffins or something, and I always wanted that stove. And when she passed away, the stove was in the ground before she was.
But Emory's goal to possess an old stove had to sit on the back burner while he became a middle school science teacher. Then summer vacation fueled his hobby. Why are you so fascinated with old stoves?
Well, to start with, they work so much better than new stoves. The new ones are really designed for 5 to 7 years. And what the companies do is they'll sell all these stoves, and then they'll stop making parts, so you can't even repair them. The one I heat my house with is $18.99, still has all its original parts.
Emory says he ensures these handmade stoves last and work as effortlessly and inexpensively as his own. The stoves range from a 9-footer used to heat a church to working salesman samples to a buffet of toy examples. They even have one of these. It's known as a domestic trainer, kind of the easy bake oven of the Civil War era. Its name is Little Eva, and this is where young girls would learn all of their domestic chores, such as cooking, ironing, laundry, and how to steam corn and quahogs. The rarest, this ornate green island used in a fancy mansion, one of only 10 in existence, made by prison inmates. Lifting the lid reveals a bowl to boil potpourri. Emory says there was a stove for every purpose, even to aid the disabled.
They didn't have to get out of a wheelchair to use it. We have these stoves that hang from the ceiling, so you can spread the sails out on the floor in a sail loft.
Emory's enthusiasm sparked a second generation to join the family business. His son Brandon, also once a school teacher, left the classroom to work close to home.
They say home is where the hearth is, not where the heart is, but where the hearth is.
The old hearths often combined practicality with artistry. Atop a Providence-made stove, a statue. There are tassels and tiles, one with cherubs throwing snowballs called War and Peace, and a scandalous torn skirt stove which sold like hotcakes.
That's one of the most prolific survivors of antique stoves from that time period. So I guess sex sold then and today.
Sex sells. Brandon admires the Yankee ingenuity of the early slices of Americana. He says the Ocean State was once on the forefront of stove design.
This is an oven door from a stove made by Spicer and Peckham in Providence, Rhode Island, and the clock face has hands that don't move automatically, but one can place them as needed. This hand says put in, and this hand says take out.
This 1844 model could be cranked to put pots right over the firebox to boil and rotate to the back to simply simmer. And there's a 1760 tavern stove held together only by gravity that might have warmed patriots gathered for heated debate.
We've had discussions of revolution around those stoves when there were some pretty tense times here in the States.
Fully restored kitchen ranges sell for about $4,000 and are sought from all over, New Zealand to the United Arab Emirates. Even Hollywood bought a stove for the movie The Revenant. In the 1970s, wood stoves were all the rage. Now the convenience of a pellet stove is popular. But with the ongoing uncertainty about energy prices, there is rekindled demand for the antiques.
They want a stove that's completely off-grid, and they like the coal stoves in particular. You can buy coal 10 years ahead if you want and store it.
Being completely non-reliant upon outside sources like electricity and things like that.
Emory says he once tried to go modern.
We had one of those gigantic stainless steel super stoves. My wife insisted on one. We got one. She made me take that stove to the scrapyard.
Now every meal is cooked on a massive Glenwood stove because, as we all know, some like it hot.